Hey guys, and welcome to By Any Means Necessary. I'm the MC John Ribbs. Thank you so much for all your messages sent me. And special thanks here to everybody who signed up to my channel. I feel so blessed with so much people that have signed up, so thank you so much for that. I'll go for all your messages. I'll answer as many as I can, but I will like all the messages for definite. Benjamin Netanyahu is a war criminal who has murdered over 10,000 children in Palestine. Benjamin Netanyahu should be in The Hague. How can you kill 10,000 children and no one at the moment is calling for this man to be taken to The Hague along with his generals? They need to be held to account for the murder of over 10,000 Palestinian children. Let's forget about the adults for now. Because they can always say, oh well, those adults, they was part of Hamas. They could always just say that. But now the children, how can you kill 10,000 children and get away with it? Perhaps maybe because it's 10,000 brown children. Because I can assure you, if this was 10,000 Caucasian children, he would have been in The Hague a long time ago. There would have been all sorts of warrant out for his arrest immediately. Right. So why is it that they have not put out warrants for his arrest? I think South Africa's trying to do something. But, this is absolutely horrific. It is horrendous, right? This type of punishment. They talk about, how else are they expected to go and dismantle Hamas? Well, in the same way as Britain went and dealt with the IRA. You didn't see them going and just bombing buildings and houses indiscriminately and hospitals indiscriminately, and Catholic churches. You didn't see them going and doing that. They wasn't doing none of that, right? So why is it that Netanyahu is allowed to get away with the absolute genocide of 10,000 children? Because there's no excuse at all. Right, you can't say, well, you know what, because Hamas are hiding amongst the people. You know why they're hiding amongst the people? It's obvious. They're fighting a war, right, that they're actually not allowed to fight. Right, they're not allowed to put up any resistance, right, to people who have come and stolen their land. They're not allowed to put up any resistance to that at all. So what they've got to do is just stand back, shut their mouth, and just, as their land evaporates and Israel just take more and more of it. So Hamas are just told, you know what, you're an illegal organization, right? So if Hamas, they're not allowed to form an army. And if Israel know where they are, they'll just bomb them, murder them, in the same way what they done to the Hamas deputy leader the other day, in a completely different country, right? So this is the reason why Hamas have had to build an underground system. Israel tell us about this underground system. This is the reason why they've had to build an underground system, because what they expected to do? Go to a barracks. How long do you think their barracks would last? They're fighting a war. They're told you are terrorists, right? So you have no right to fight because you're terrorists. You have no right to defend yourself because you're terrorists. And so Israel are allowed, by international law, Israel are allowed to treat them in whatever way. And the whole world has been sitting back and saying, well, the Palestinians deserve it because of what happened on the 6th or 7th of October. So the Palestinians deserve it. They deserve everything they're getting. That's what's been coming out of the world leaders, basically. I don't know if they're going to carry this on, because you can't murder this amount of civilians, right, and say, oh well, we're just defending ourselves. You've gone way past defending yourself. That's that stopped a long time ago, right? You're defending yourself. I mean, you defended yourself, right, after you had killed all of the people that had come across the border, and then the rest of them, right, you should have went in and got them, not destroyed the whole of Gaza. Should have gone in and got them. They've destroyed probably 3/4 of the buildings in Gaza, hospitals, right? These people are even bombing refugee centers. So if you're prepared to bomb a refugee center, then the only place you should be is in The Hague. 10,000 children says that you should be in the Hague, but this is 10,000 brown children. So we have to say, how many brown children will you have to murder before they say, you know what, this is now too much? Because none of these world leaders are saying this is too much. Then you can move over to things like the settler violence. The settler violence has been going on for years. We often hear about, a Palestinian has been running about in Israel and stabbed and killed a few people, or stabbed a few people. We often hear about those stories. We don't tell you about the settler stories. How the settlers are just murdering the Palestinians on a daily basis and just taking their land. They're doing that today. It's murder them, take their land. And if the Palestinians try to resist, next thing the IDF will come down as well and protect the Israelis. Right? While the Israelis have got guns and they're allowed to just murder them. And a lot of them are like American expats as well. So they've got that attitude of the Americans, right? Which is a gun-toting nation, as we know, where, someone could go into a school and kill the smallest children, kindergarten children, and still they won't ban guns. And a lot of those type of people have gone over, to where the settlers are, right? And they're just taking the people's land, murdering them, taking the land. We don't hear about them story. We don't hear about that because all that's kept away. But, the minute something, you get a small incident in Israel, it's all over the news. The Hamas terrorists have set off, someone's been running around the street stabbing people. Hamas terrorists. Then we hear about those all the time on the news. But we don't hear about the real story, what is going on over there. And the real story is, that Netanyahu has probably got over 100,000, deaths of Palestinians on his hands, which means that there are, there's Nazi generals that he has killed more people than. There's not, right? And that's just a fact, because Netanyahu, right? Netanyahu has never wanted a two-state solution. Okay, from the 1970s, there's videos of him saying, talking a very right-wing fascist way. So there's videos of that, right? So he's never ever wanted a two-state solution. It's not something that he's ever wanted. And then you have to wonder why it is that they keep on voting him in, which can only mean one thing: that the Israelis themselves, the people. Majority of the people in Israel do not want to treat the Palestinians well. They want to treat them badly. They want to treat them, right, as in an apartheid, like they have been committing on them for the past 8 decades. This is as simple as white people murdering brown people. I come to your land, they come to your land, right? This is what the West have done all over the world. They come to your land, they steal your land, and then they brand you as a terrorist within your own land. This is the reason why, right, the only people in the world, if you notice, right, look at what countries, right, where you've got the people who are saying, oh, well, they're trying to replace us. They want to replace us. Who are the countries saying that? Britain and America, mainly. And why? Because these are the only people who have actually replaced people. The Americans, obviously British and the rest of the Europeans, went and replaced the natives, murdered them, genocide, took their land. And now the only people who go, oh, look, they're trying to replace us, because they are the only people who have actually replaced people. That's the reason why you hear them so frightened of it. Oh, well, they want to replace us, because they know that they have done it. They're the only people that have actually replaced people. And it's not only America, Canada, New Zealand, Australia. Remember, they tried to do it all over Africa as well. Whether Botswana or whether South Africa, in all different regions, they tried to steal as well. India as well, right? China, right? Loads of parts of the where the Arabs are. Loads of that they tried to steal, right? And the one thing that the Israelis have got, right, is that these are Caucasians, and what they've done is just the same as what they have done, what Caucasians have done to black and brown people from the beginning of time. Find and steal their land, brand them as terrorists. Guarantee you, if you look at newspapers from back in the day when they went to the New World, America, what they called the New World, because they found it. What they call the New World. When they went there, I can guarantee you, if you look at the newspapers from back then, they would be branding the Native Americans as terrorists. Guaranteed. Same with the Aborigines. Same with the Canadians. Same in New Zealand. They'd be branding those people as terrorists. Look at them, the terrorists. Right? They're trying to kill us all while committing genocide. In the same way now, right? Last night you had Zippy Hotovelli. She happens to be the Israeli ambassador to Britain. Last night, just speaking, every time I hear this woman, she just speaks in the most genocidal fashion. And last night she just said it straight. Every other building in Palestine has got a tunnel in it. All of it's all tunnels everywhere. There's got tunnels everywhere, which means that what she's saying is every single Palestinian is guilty. And some of them have already come out and said that there's no innocent Palestinians. Right? And then, these people are quoting, they're quoting terms from the Bible, right, that mean genocide. Who was the Israeli prime minister that got assassinated? I think his name was Yitzhak Rabin, and that was about 94, 95, maybe 96. I think it was 95 though. Right? His wife blamed Netanyahu because back then Netanyahu was a far-right Zionist. I'm a Zionist. Okay? I'm a Zionist because I believe that Israel have the right to exist. It would be much better if there was existing in the 1967 borders. Right? And it would be better if they hadn't stolen the Palestinians' capital city. Right. It would be a lot better if they wasn't committing apartheid on the Palestinians for the past 8 decades. Right. It would be better if they wasn't committing genocide on the Palestinians right now, where Netanyahu has murdered over 10,000 children. Why has the Hague not issued a warrant for his arrest? Thank you so much for watching this video. My name is MC John Ribs. This is By Any Means Necessary. It was really nice to speak to you guys. Comments below.